You know, Andrea,
Yes, Sean.
you're not a professional musician until 3 things happen.
What would that be?
You get stiffed by a venue owner, you go your entire adult life without health insurance, and you get the absolute pleasure of firing your bandmates. Don't worry, you're safe. You're good.
I thought I was compromised for a second there.
But due to our silent third bandmate, no longer silent, this video is sponsored by Sweetwater, we get to fire the rest of the band. Okay, I've been thirsting after a piece of gear for so long.
What was that?
And they've been out of stock. The Boss RC-505. So today I'm just going to kind of do a quick demonstration of what I've learned from it. This thing is awesome. It was out of stock for a while. Sweetwater hooked it up and sponsored this video to kind of run it through its paces because I kind of want to get more live loop stuff into our show that we have going without having to pay other musicians to actually do work.
Honestly.
Good friends of ours use this professionally to make their entire living. Davidas slays this. Andreas Colleen slays this thing. So I'm just kind of like learning it. A lot of people will be like, well, this is a tabletop looper. It's not really for guitarists. No. I bought, with real money, the Boss FS6 Footswitch, okay? So what this does is lets you just use it like a regular looper pedal, right? Like... Right? And then you can just kind of...
That's cool.
I just have it set up to do that one thing. Now, you know, you can overdub stuff. And then you can stop, or if you want to just expand the foot switch, you can do like a lot of different things. The reason that I needed this one, and that I've wanted this one for so long, is because when I think of like looping, I want to be able to just recreate our original songs that we do live, right? So the cool thing about this unit in particular, you can have loops operating independent of each other. And there's a couple of different ways to kind of set this up. But first what we're going to do is we're just going to lay down a simple drum beat from our song Julianna, right?
Andrea and Sean.
That we're going to kind of demo. We're just going to use this whole song as like a demo of how to do this. And we have the Roland SPDS X pad here. So I just have some of the original samples that we used from that song, which I exported into a USB stick, and then I loaded it onto this. You may have seen this before. A lot of pro drummers and, you know, performers use this. Basically, you can just trigger any song that you want. So basically what we can do is we can just kind of like make our own drum beat. So my beautiful assistant right here is going to get this in perfect time.
Oh no.
Right? So I'm going to give a 4 count, and on track 3, you're going to hit record. All right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hit it again. Right? So now we have our first loop. Now it's orange, which means we can track over it. We can overdub. 3, 4. Right? So anything that's going through the looper will capture that in that loop. So now if you hit it again, it's a closed loop. Okay? So now I have loop sync on here, so I can do anything, and I can have it sync to the beginning of this loop, but I can have it operate independently of however many measures I want to do, right? You can use this with a metronome. Most people use it with a metronome, but the thing that I like most is being able to use it more like a traditional looper and still do different things. So now we've got the Julianna pedal, which we kind of based our whole song around. And now I can use the foot switch to kind of lay down the progression. Now I have that closed loop, right? And we can kind of take that in or bring it back, and it'll be synced with the original thing. Now again, I want to stop this because again, the best reason you might want this pedal is if that's just the verse. Our songs have so much musical complexity to them.
Of course, it's not just the
right?
same 4 chords.
We don't just loop the same chords. We rearrange the same 4 chords in different patterns.
Thank you.
So I have the foot switch set up to, when I hit the other foot switch pedal, it'll start track 1 with whatever chord progression I want. So again, let's start again, right? So now as soon as like this ends, I'll go to the B part, the chorus, right? So here comes, but the drums again. So now another thing that is really important about this, and took me a minute to figure out because I couldn't find like a lot of people doing it in this way, where they have like a verse chorus repeating thing, is if I have track 1 and 2 set to multi playback, that means they can't happen at the same time, right? So if I'm playing this, I can't play them at the same time, so it'll switch back and forth, right? So the cool thing is when I have it going on, if I set the first one, I can switch back to the verse part after this. Right here. Alright? So basically, I also kind of want to get the vocals in here, which is why you've been standing here awkwardly this entire time.
I have not been making it awkward at all.
There's a microphone right behind you, actually. Let's check it out. What do we got?
Sennheiser 430, MD 435.
Cool. So, are you on?
Yes.
Now, here's the important thing. You might be like, well, what is this extension on here? This right here, if you're using this, I think is actually pretty important, okay? This is an actual on-off mic switch that Hosa sells that I got, because if you leave it on the whole time, it'll pick up like the sound of like maybe like your stick hitting a pad, and that'll go through the microphone. So I think it's actually important to get one of these on-off switches. So now when you turn it on,
it's on right now.
You can hear your voice through there.
Hello.
And then we can also use the effects, the built-in effects, right? So I have this set to reverb on for an input effect, which means it's not going to affect anything that I already have in there. So we can turn this on, and then when we have this starting again, right? Now you can actually do your vocals on top of this, right?
Yep.
Let's give an example, right?
Julianna, do you wanna get together, baby? Underwater, it's been a long time since I saw you alone. Julianna, it's time to come home.
I'll switch.
Drift away into the deepest, darkest sea. And in the reeds and waves is where you'll find me. The moonlight shot a message through, letter typed in ocean blue. I curse the tides, but they were true. Your love away from me. Drift away into the darkest sea.
Okay, so.
So there, what we did is we clicked the all start/stop button.
And kind of did the same thing.
Yeah.
Now I also have the Prophet hooked up into the boss thing. If you want like a longer video showing you how I do these connections, just let me know. Even using a small mixer can be really helpful with this. But right now I have everything just kind of hooked into the 505. So let's say I want to add like a bass line. I've got the bass patch pulled up here. I can do one or two things. I can use track 4 and put the bass on top of that, or I can overdub the original guitar part and have the bass and the guitar lie in the same part. Right? So if I'm starting it, right? So here's the verse chords. Is the mic off?
Yep.
I don't want to hear that. Guitar volume is down. I can overdub and then.
I accidentally did it that
I
way.
think you must have actually sang it while it was still overdubbing. But whatever, we can also erase that too. But either way, so now I have a way that I can play either the bass on top of that. I could add the bass as its own thing, but since this is an example where we're doing two different parts, a verse and a chorus, I do think that like it just kind of works better to kind of have it both ways. You know what I'm saying?
Like dub over.
Yeah, to overdub, right?
Also, make sure that your input effects are down when you're adding other things.
Unless you want them,
Unless
right?
you
Like I kind of wanted a dry bass for this. With the reverb, it kind of gets messy.
Yeah.
It sounds cool by itself.
But like in the mix, it's not as clean.
Yeah, right? And again, remember, you can keep that overdub on, like as soon as this turn it's green, it's just playing back. I can't hear anything. But here, as soon as I start hitting something, then it'll add to the thing. I can just let it play through. All right, so it starts on a B flat. So I can really just kind of. And then now that's locked in with that track. You know, so it's kind of, it's just, I think it's super cool. You can kind of. Anyways, so this is something that I kind of wanted to start incorporating into our shows, maybe even live streams. I will link everything in the description. Again, special thanks to Sweetwater because I've wanted one of these for so long.
Yeah.
And again, it was out of stock or whatever, and then Sweetwater hooked it up. So I'll link everything that I use here. But yeah, great stuff. Boss makes cool gear, and I definitely think that this is their very best loop station just because of all the capabilities that it has. Specifically with the Footswitch, if you're a guitar player. Again, if you're not a guitar player, don't worry about it. You can even set it up where you can just kind of like have it count in with the metronome. So you get a click before you have to start because it's hard to like start and hit things at the same time. Even though I see Davidas do it on the live stream and he's so good with kind of doing stuff that it's like, it's ridiculous. So, infinite amount of functionality. Let us know what you guys want to see us try to perform with this.
Yeah, this is by far not the last you'll see this.
Yeah, so again, hopefully, you know, it'll add some setup time to the gig.
Yeah.
Which we're already not great at.
But in the future, it'll happen and it'll take our performances to the next level because then you can solo over yourself, so you don't need an extra guitar player.
You can even scat and beatbox.
Oh gosh.
Which will be coming in the next video.
I mean, I guess you could harmonize yourself too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how Andreas does it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah, so anyways, let us know if you have any questions because I'm kind of just trying to figure out all the stuff at the same time. So if you have anything you want us to see, let us know. And then check out our track, Julianna, because we're trying to faithfully recreate this live.
It legit actually kind of sounds just like it.
Yeah.
To be honest. I was kind of shocked when he came in. I was like, wow, that's actually just the track.
Yeah, take a listen to it and then just kind of like, you know, run that back with what we were just doing. And let us know what you think. Thanks a lot.